there. It's been a while. Sorry about that.
Hey guys! So today I did a tutorial on this makeup look right here using all affordable products. I did use Benefit Professional to fill in my gnarly pores and Anastasia Brow Wiz to do my brows off camera. I've tried to find dupes for both of those products at the drugstore and I just can't find anything that compares. So keeping it 100 with you, I did use some more expensive products. Also, I used MakeupGeek eyeshadows, 3 MakeupGeek eyeshadows, and although you can't find them at the drugstore, the price point is most definitely drugstore. So if you've yet to try MakeupGeek eyeshadows, you most definitely need to jump on that bandwagon and give them a go because they are amazing. So if you guys want to see how I got this affordable makeup look for back to school, just go ahead and keep on watching. Also, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed because you most definitely want to be subscribed. And let's get started. So this makeup tutorial is going to be one of the more simple ones that I'm going to do. If you're anything like me, when I was in high school, I did not wear a lot of makeup to school, so the bare minimum is what we're going to be going for today. First, I went through with my Benefit Professional and tried my best to hide those gnarly pores. And then if you have acne like me, I have adult acne, but if you suffer from acne right now, the best thing you could do to hide that redness is to color correct. And the color corrector that I'm using here is the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer in green, and it's the best one that I've found on the market so far. I just put that all over everywhere that's especially red and then blend it out with my finger, and it really does help to hide that redness that is from my acne. Next, I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal ProMatte foundation, and mine is in the shade Shell Beige. I just dot this all over my face, and this is one of my favorite foundations to wear for long periods of time because it does stay extremely matte throughout the day. So if you're at school and you don't want to worry about having to touch up your skin throughout the day, this foundation will stay almost completely matte throughout the day. So I just dot it all over my face and then blend it out using my Real Technique sponge. Time for a singing break, you know me. And I just use the flat side of that brush or that sponge because I feel like it gives me a fuller coverage than the pointed side does. So then again, I got to get in between those brows. Be very careful if you've already have your brows done. I did my brows off camera, so I had those done before. And as you can see, my acne is almost completely gone. I can't see it, and it looks even better in person than it does on camera. Next, I'm going to go through with my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in Fair. It took me forever to get the product to come up. It didn't even come up. I just was like, well, let's see if any comes out. And sure enough, it did, but nothing came out of the sponge. It was so weird. So I just put that in the center of my face, down the bridge of my nose, concealed my under eye circles with it, then in the center of my forehead. I do use the pointed side of the Real Technique sponge for this part because it does get closer up to your eyelids or underneath your under eyes. And you don't want it to be super full coverage right there because it can tend to get cakey. So I do use the pointed side for that, bouncing back and forth and back and forth. I did go through and set my under eyes with the AirSpun translucent powder but I didn't show it because it was completely and totally out of focus. So just make sure you set your under eyes as well. Here I'm going to bronze up my face using my brand new Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I just got the darker bronzer, and people are not joking when they say it smells like a Copacabana, like pina colada. It makes me want to go to a summer beach. So I'm using the Real Techniques blush brush to just bronze up my face, and then to further define my contour, I'm going to go in with the NYX HD blush in Taupe, and when I opened it, I completely scratched the whole top of it. I was so sad, but I do it every time. I don't know why. And here I'm just using my new favorite small contour brush, which is by Luxie Beauty. It's so perfect, fits right in the hollows of my cheeks, and I'm obsessed. It's so dirty. I totally need to wash it. But I'm just going through with that darker contour shadow to create that shadow and define my cheekbones, and also on the tops of my forehead. Next, I'm going to go in with my I just bought this. It's a Maybelline Strobing stick. It's the pinkier one. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a cream highlight that kind of reminds me of Benefit What's Up, just with a little bit more of a pink undertone. I just went through and dabbed my finger on the stick and then dabbed it right there on the tops of my cheekbones. I wasn't going for any massively glowing highlight, which I know shocking for me, right? I always pile on the highlight. But I just was wanting that little bit of a glow to the tops of my cheekbones, make me look more luminous throughout the day, and it worked really well. It just gave that subtle bit of glow. It blended out really nicely like cream to powder highlight, and I decided to put it on my Cupid's bow as well. I ended up taking it off because it just looked a little chalky right there, but it was surprisingly well good. Next I went through with my Morphe E4 favorite blush brush of all time and Milani Luminoso just to add some color to the tops of my cheek. I feel like highlighting and blush really makes your face look more awake and younger-ish, if you want to go with me there. And here I'm only using 3 eyeshadows for this look, 3 MakeupGeek eyeshadows. So first I went through with that Sigma E40 as per usual and dusted Beaches in Cream in through my entire crease, windshield wiper motions, made sure to I basically just put it everywhere. I used the concealer to prime my eyes, and so here I'm just basically setting it with the Beaches in Cream. So you can go through with whatever color you have in your collection that you feel best matches your skin tone, and just make sure to set down that concealer because that's what's going to ensure that your shadow doesn't crease throughout the day. Next, I'm going to go through with a Sigma E30, which is just a pencil brush to highlight my brow bone. I feel like highlighting my brow bone helps to lift my eyebrows up some. I do have partially hooded eyes. They're not the most hooded eyes, but they are somewhat hooded, and I feel like highlighting underneath my brow bone really helps to lift them up and also makes them look a little bit cleaner. Next, I'm going to go through with the same shade and the same brush on the inner corners of my eyes. I've said in previous videos that I like this technique to help open up my eyes. I feel like it just brings a little bit more light to the center of my face and makes my eyes pop just a little bit more. Next, I'm going to take Cocoa Bear, which is just a matte brown reddish shade. It's one of my favorite shades by MakeupGeek. And the Sigma E25, which is also a blending brush, but this blending brush is not as fluffy as the Sigma E40, so you have a little bit more control with it. It is tapered and more dense in the middle and with less bristles as you go out to either end of the sides of the brushes, if that makes sense. It kind of reminds me of a MAC 217 or Morphe M433, but just a little bit smaller, so you have just a tittle bit more control. So what I like to do when I'm using this brush is just tap it into the shadow flat, lay that shadow directly onto my eye where I want the most pigmentation to be, and then I turn the brush sideways to blend out the shadow to ensure that it blends out as seamlessly as possible. Since there are less bristles on either end of the brush, it does help to blend out and make sure that there's no harsh lines. Next, I'm going to go through with my E40 just to make sure that everything, those 2 shadows that I put, the Shimma on my brow bone and all of the Cocoa Bear on my lid, just make sure that everything is blended together and that there are no harsh lines. And that's the finished eye look as far as shadow goes. I feel like it's one of the prettiest looks that a person could wear, and just gives your eyes a little bit of color, but still not too much. You could easily do it in 5 minutes if you wanted to. So I went through and curled my lashes, and now I'm going in with my favorite all time of all the mascaras that I have. The L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara is just my favorite. I feel like it adds just enough length, just enough volume. The applicator is perfect, and it's black as black could be, so I don't have any trouble. Also, it never clumps on me, it doesn't ever flake off. It's just one of the best mascaras I've found so far. Now here I'm going to go through with just the tiniest amount of Cocoa Bear on that same Sigma 25 or Sigma E25 and dust a little bit of shadow on my lower lash line. I felt like it was looking a little bit nicky, so I went through and added some color. And here, for most days, I honestly just wear chapstick. I don't wear lipstick. Even if I'm wearing makeup, I tend to just wear chapstick for my lips because I like to keep them hydrated. So that actually completes the look. Very simple, very fresh, very youthful, and super duper easy, which if you're like me, you want to sleep in, this will take you 10-15 minutes and you'll be a pro in no time. If you guys like this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.